Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Hey Girlfriend set, and I think these kind of look like toned down brats, little Bratz dolls that used to be popular whenever my daughter was young. And we're going to do some coloring on these and just show several different ways to set up your cards with this and different ideas for doing that. I had several different little ideas. I wanted to use some of these papers from Celebration. And I wanted to show you a couple of tips and things. I wanted to first show you, I don't know how many times I've mentioned this, maybe never. When you're going to be using a background piece like this, it is so nice if you know you're going to use a little bit of the same color paper for something else. A lot of times you can just die cut that or punch that right out of the middle, and it saves paper that way because it's going to be completely covered up by the layer that's on top of it, if that makes sense. So super easy, and it saves you a lot of time. Okay, so one idea that I had for this that I wanted to mention is that you could just go ahead and put this little girl on the card and not color her. You could stamp her in navy and leave her on there. It's super easy. So that would be one way to make this really quick. Another way to do it is to just color her in some of the tones. Now, of course, her hair will be blonde or brown or black, whatever, but to color her clothing in some of the same tones in the paper that you've used. So in this case, you know, navy, maybe some like Seaside Spray, or even you could probably use Moonlight Mist to give you another color of blue to use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up this card. I was trying to save time because I feel like I take a lot of time sometimes that I don't necessarily mean to be using. So I was imagining the card being kind of like this, and then I wanted to put some more white on it. And so I wanted to show how to make a loopy bow, which is like you can use 3 loops, 2 loops, whichever appeals. So first thing I want to do though is show you that I can still, like you may say, oh my goodness, I've already stuck down this part of the card, and I have, but it is up on dimensionals. So I will be able to tuck this ribbon right in there with just some glue dots, and it won't be that big of a deal. I mean, I may struggle a little more than normal, but I just wanted to show you sometimes when you think, oh no, I've messed up, I've got to pull the whole front of the card off. You really don't. You'll be able to still go ahead and salvage the card just by putting some glue dots and using that to stick this under here. So let me turn it around where I can see it. Okay, I'm gonna tuck that right in there. And now that I've shown you the tip here with the punching your a smaller piece out of the big piece, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the Night of Navy scalloped rectangle here. There we go. Whoops. There we are. And I'll eventually pop that up on glue dots. So I want to just kind of get it. It seems about right. So I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to trim it just a bit on the side. So then back in with another glue dot. Put it right under there. And this is kind of where I have to be a little more careful because I'm tucking it under. Just kind of like that. And there you can see I was able to just tuck that right in, and no one will have any question about whether or not when I wrap that on there, because it seems like I did it at the same time. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add my dimensionals. One here, 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 and here, and then one in the middle just for good measure. Okay, I'm going to put her right up here. Try to get it fairly even. Okay, then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the bottom. I think I'll use the smaller ones so I don't have to worry about being as careful. in placement, I mean, in putting them on, you know, because if I were to use 3 big ones, I might be afraid that I would get it showing either on the ends or on the outside. So then I'm just putting my Hey Girlfriend here, right about there. Decide if I think it looks straight this direction as well. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to make the bow. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just going to try to put together the loopy bow. Now, on this one I did 3, and you can decide if you think that that looks like it fills the space well enough, or if you think it might even need more than 3. But generally 2 or 3 is sufficient. So I'm just looping it around like that as best, as best I can. And you can spend a lot of time on this, but I kind of find that I like the way it looks when it's just really like not perfectly even, honestly, because it looks a little more festive. You can also, if you choose to, you can get it, if you spend a lot of time, you can make it lay like almost completely flat. But if you want it to look really wild and silly, that's kind of where I go on this, is just making it look like a package bow. There, that's what I mean. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just tying another piece of ribbon around it. You can either go ahead and cut it, or you can cut it after you tie it. It's just kind of up to you. And if you have somebody that's willing to hold it for you, that might work too. But you could also just do like I'm doing and just kind of leave it where you can see. And then you see how it's kind of pulling the bow over and making it even have more volume as I'm tying it, if that makes sense. See how it kind of fluffed it up even? So you might want to, if you have one that's way short or way long, you might want to even that up. But if you're happy with it, then you just go ahead and cut it off. And then I like to make sure that each one of my ends looks like I intend for it to, which is either, sometimes you might want to dovetail, sometimes you might want to cut them even straight, who knows, but just so that they all have about the same angle on the ribbon edging. So, and then about the same lengths on each side. I'm not sure mine does this time, but imagine that I'm going to get that more even than it is right now. Okay, here, I think I'll go ahead and do that. Right there, that's a little better. Okay, so now you can see that I'll just tuck that right here on this line, and I think that that adds kind of a ridiculous level of festive. Like if it's for her birthday, you put that on the inside, and I think it just peps up the look of the whole thing. So where did I put my glue dots? Here they are. Put that right here. And then what I usually like to do is just put it on whatever I consider the back side to be, right on where the knot is, wherever the tie is. And then I'm going to scooch it up just a little bit and then put it right along the line where I stuck that onto the card. So there you can see I just kind of added kind of a big fluffy bow. And of course, if you think that's too big, like if you're going to mail it, it would be easy to make the same kind of bow and just make it a little bit smaller. But I have trouble sometimes in ever making big fluffy bows that are fun, so I wanted to kind of add that. So at this point, I will go ahead and just color this. So you'll want to check back either on my blog or here on Facebook and see the completed card so that, you can kind of get that idea. But I'm going to go ahead and look for some kind of navy marker here, because I think I would like to go ahead and add some bling right up here in the corner. I kind of like to finish that part up while I'm still working on it. So I'm just going to add, let's see what color I'm using. I'm using Light Misty Moonlight. I may want to go with Dark Misty Moonlight, but this Light Misty Moonlight, kind of on these bling, it will look like the lighter color of blue. So, there's a decision to be made there. Just kind of whichever. All right. So I'm either going to add 2 or 3, and I went ahead and colored 3 because I wasn't completely sure which way I would want it and whether I would want it to be on either side. There we are. And this Flower and Field paper is, oh no, this is not Flower and Field. This is the other one. I'm sorry. Flower and Field is the one we're using next, but this is also a celebration too. I can't remember what it's called. If anybody knows, feel free to tell me and I will add it. So, all right, so this is one choice of a way to make cards with these girls. And now I'm just gonna do kind of what I would consider a quick card, but still a fun fold. So I'm just going to, let me tell you what I did here. This was 8.5 wide by 4 1/4. And what it is basically is a modified double gate fold. We've done these before, but we've had like the exact size to fill the space here. And I didn't do that this time. I was trying to let my Pretty Designer Series paper show on this. So that was kind of my plan. And you could also, of course, use this side. That would also be super pretty as well. So let's do this. Okay, and there's that. And then I wanted to use yellow on this piece. So this is my bumblebee. So I'm just putting that in. Can you believe I'm covering up this pretty paper? I wanted some yellow though, so I chose this bumblebee. Okay. There we are. So then I'm going to put another piece of this on here. If you liked this better, that would be fine too, but I think I would still like to have more daisies. Just mounting that on there. Okay, just a second. That one is not very well cut. I did not like my abilities on that, but anyway, there we are. Okay, so then I'm just going to tuck this one under, and I'm going to kind of push it toward the side because that's where my girl's going to be. I don't know if I made that very clear. That's where she'll be. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down where I think it's about in the middle. And you can use a stronger adhesive if you'd like to, but I think this is pretty good. And so what I generally do here is just kind of put this in the middle, just kind of close to the middle. You want to get it, of course, centered top and bottom. And then I think centering it a little bit on the left and right also kind of adds interest. It's just, you're getting plenty of this showing. So if you didn't have your little girl on here, this would seem nicely spaced on the edges. So there's that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put her on dimensionals only on this side again, because we don't want to stick her down to this side so that we can write something in here if we want to. We could even add white. So the reason I'm using blue is there's just an ever so tiny bit of this balmy blue around the edge of each one of the daisies. Let me lift that up. I'm not sure you can see it. And so I just thought that kind of pulled out the color. And then, of course, the granny apple green is to match the leaves. Okay, so I'm going to put one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle. Just going to take that right there off. Okay, so let me try to center it top and bottom. Okay, there we are. And then we've got our little Hey Girlfriend sentiment. So there's, a lot of choices on where you think that's going to look best. Possibly right like this, so that she comes up like this, and then we open. It just says, Hey Girlfriend, like that. Maybe down here where it's a nice edge along there. But also you could put it straight down here where it just kind of goes along the edge and hits against the green. So basically you can just see which one you think looks the best. So I'm not sure what I like, so maybe I'll just use a tiny bit of, that's one thing, I don't know if you all ever do that, but sometimes if I can't decide, I will either use just a tiny bit of adhesive or no adhesive at all, and then I'll come back to it later and look at it again another time, and sometimes I'm like, oh, how did I ever think that I liked the other way, whatever way it was. So that can be kind of a fun thing to do. So then you can see here, I might want to add kind of my same little ribbon here, and that gives it a fun look. Let me cut this off right here. It's bugging me. Like that. So that could be super cute as one other way to do it. So now you get to decide something. On this one, I was trying to get my little girls to be on the same card, like where they both showed. Let me see if I can get this. There we are. So I considered this direction, and I cut the paper for that, and I couldn't decide if I wouldn't like it better going the other way. So you all can kind of look at it. She's going to be covered up a little bit either way, but you all can help me decide whether I want to do my Hey Girlfriend here, and then, you know, it'll open up and then I'll put a sentiment down there, or if it would look better horizontally. So what you're going to want to type on the page is either vertical or horizontal. Which one you think will look the best? Okay, so now I'm doing the horizontal way. And I cut another piece. So these are Z-fold cards, of course. And this is one of my favorite ones. Well, this is actually a gatefold. It's a faux gatefold, but it's actually a Z-fold card that goes the other way. So it's kind of funny how we have so many different names for things, and they're not really that different. So, okay, so where I put her was right here. So this one is the way that you can see the girls the best, I think. And then when you open it up, you see the paper inside. So it's just kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. So I'm not really sure which one I'll end up going with. But I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. I can always make another one going the other way. But I like to see their little faces. So I think I'm going to go with the horizontal. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put her right here, which she won't show really right over here. That'll just be the paper, but I think I'll put the sentiment or maybe just a blank circle inside here. Then that'll make a place for someone to sign the card, you know, just kind of like right over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this down. Maybe right there. There we are. And then with this one, just kind of deciding whether I want, you know, it's kind of whatever aesthetic you like, whether it would look best to have it just kind of going off the edge here, because that could be kind of cute. Let me show you how that kind of looks nice along the edge. Or it could be where it's almost over at this edge. So, you know, decisions, but I think I like it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead with that. And then this time, you know, I just wanna make sure I don't get any on the scalloped edge, because that would be sticky and that would cause me a problem. So, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on right along where just the edge is going off. Just a little bit. There we are. And I like this because it's almost spaced evenly, and then we just see the little puppy dog still. So I kind of like that. Okay, then on this one, I think it would be pretty cute if we used some different ribbon, maybe some that is bumblebee. I thought that could be really cute. But then I was thinking that the gingham and daisies, I really like, they're kind of a country look, but I don't know that that's necessarily what you would call it nowadays, but I think this will look pretty on there. See what you think. I mean, it might look better on the inside, but anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead. I'll go ahead and color. One of the girls will be a blonde, so I'll color her hair with bumblebee. Okay, so now I've got those guys kind of lined up. Just going to trim off the ends. And then I just need something to wrap around. And then I might go ahead and put maybe some pearls that I've colored with bumblebee or blue, one or the other. Just some more little blings, you know, here and there around. Just to kind of, or maybe just some random, you know, so that they're not all bulked up in one place. Just kind of some little cutesies here and there, some blings or some pearls, either one. Okay, so I did that. Now I'm ready to just trim these off at a length that I like. There's that. I think that one's a little long. Okay, so there we go. And then I think I'm ready to just put that maybe right there. And so you can see how happy these little bows are. They're different than what we normally make, but they will still go through the mail. And do you see how I'm kind of forming it like this? And then if it's someone close that you're sending to, you just tell them, hey, fluff that up when you get it, because it's supposed to be kind of fluffy and cheerful. So then they would know that that's what you intended. Might look cute up there too, or even just right across the bottom here. So lots of choices. Decide which side I think is the top. Fluff it back up. Let's see, I think I like that right there. I think that's super sweet. So let me get a glue dot. Just put it right in the middle. And then let's see, where will I put my Hey Girlfriend? Maybe I should have thought of that first. Ooh, what if it was right there above her head? I kind of like that. That could be really cute. So there, I think that's how I will do that one. And then to see the finished colored products, I will put those on my blog so that you can see them. So that's one card where we use the Flower and Field card. I mean designer series paper, sorry about that. And then this one, we use the Flower and Field again, and then the nice bumblebee polka dot. And so we just did it like that. So that's the second card. And then our first card was this card with the beautiful navy daisies and stuff. And we made this big cheerful bow. So anyway, I appreciate you all watching. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have some time for some stamping. I'm planning to make a Mickey Mouse card if it turns out for me. It's supposed to look like a Mickey ice cream bar. So I have tons of friends that love Disney. Some of them may love Disney more than I do. But this is for my friend that I actually went to kindergarten with, her daughter. So I think that she would really like it for her daughter's birthday. So I'm going to try to get that done this weekend. And I hope that you all are able to have some stamping time too. You all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.